Good afternoon, everybody. And let's. Oh, I was going to shut my cupboard door. I was having a clear out yesterday, and everything is still untidy. I'm just checking that we're currently live. And let's. Oh, God, not very practiced at this. Right. We can start. I'm in a bit of a rush today because I've literally just got back from the local hospitals having some blood tests. Nothing to worry about, but I've literally just walked in the door to do this webinar. So today we're going to talk a bit about talents and how do you know what it is that you are good at. And when I'm coaching people, I'm often finding that they are taking a lot of their skills and their natural talents for granted. And it means that they're probably not selling what they've got well enough. They'll say things like, "Oh, doesn't everybody do that?" Or, I'm a great organizer. Yeah, but, surely everyone does it like that. And actually, the honest answer is no. Everybody doesn't do it like that, and everybody doesn't do it as you would do it. So one of the things that I would encourage everyone to do is to start really analysing what your proper talents are. Now, you can do this in a number of different ways. You can start by thinking about the things that you have that are your passions, what you find easy. Now, are you the sort of person who everybody just comes to you for certain things, whether it's you're the person who's really good at fixing things, you're the person who's great at all the technology, you're always up to date with the latest bit of news in the industry, or perhaps you're the person who always thinks further ahead, or you'll think about other people. What is it that perhaps that people come to you for? Can you explore some of those particular reasons? We can think as well about things that we like doing. And the model I'm just going to share with you in a second. Let me just open share my screen. And I can share. No, that's not going to like that. One, bear with me a second. Here we are. Here we are. Right, I want to share this one. So here's a little table that I use is to start to assess where you find things easier or more difficult. Now, obviously, when we have no skill and we find things difficult, it might not be that we're never going to be good at those things because we haven't learnt them yet. So, for example, if you're learning a language, you might say, well, it's very difficult when I get going at the start because I've got no skill. And as I move forward and learn a bit more, I've got limited skill, then you might become skilled and you get easier. And in fact, if you go and live in the country, you might find that you're actually fluent and a natural. When you're thinking about things that you are in work, think about what you just find easy and that you're a natural. It might be, as I said, you might be creative, you might be a good communicator. You will find certain things easier than others. So, for example, my husband, who's an accountant, for him, everything to do with numbers, spreadsheets, financial planning, strategy, he would be up here. Now, it's not to say that I can't do it. I potentially would put myself perhaps in the skilled or limited skill area for that, but I wouldn't necessarily class myself as a natural. For me, something like communication or talking to people, motivating people, coaching, I would put myself more, I find those things easier. Other people would find having conversations with people about difficult subjects, they would put them into the difficult zone. So have a think, and use that table as a potential method for working out what you're good at. Now, there's another thing that I can just share here. There's another way of looking at it. Just bear with me. And another way that we can look at what our talents are when we're looking at things that are to do with how stressed, bored, or whether we're in the zone, or whether we have a passion for them. And the way I describe this in my book is actually, when we're good at things, we will be I call it the passion zone, but these are things where you just find things are so easy, you get them done, you do it quickly. I've put here that the time that you need to spend to do it goes down, but the result is good. It's something that you could probably knock out in 10 minutes of your time, whereas someone else who's more in the, I don't really like that, or this is making me stressful, I can't do it, that would take them ages, and actually the result's not going to be anywhere near as good. It's probably got errors in it. They're probably not going to have thought everything through. And so actually, if you can focus on getting a job that is directly related to your passions, your skills, you are going to be doing it better than other people if they are just kind of in the middle sort of zone. What you want to do is identify what those are. Now, oftentimes I see people's CVs and I notice that, let me see if I can stop sharing now. I think that's done. When I notice that actually we don't necessarily know what it is that we're good at, and people will, in their CVs, they'll put a huge list of companies, job titles, tasks, responsibilities, and that's good because you want to show what you have been doing. What people often leave out is the achievements and the results in their CV, and we've got CV chat tomorrow or later in the week. But what they will then leave out mostly, I would say, majority of CVs that I see mostly leave out the how you do it. What is it about how you do your job that means that you are better at it than someone else? What is it about the method, the passion, the patience, the excitement, the managerial style, the energy that you bring to a job? Is it because you're calm and diligent and thorough and looking at everything in detail? Or is it because you've got energy and you always can read people, you light up a room, you can see full circle, you can join things together? Think about what that means for you. What is the how? It's okay to list the tasks and the types of job and the achievements, and that if you do the achievements, you'll still be probably doing a lot better than the majority of CVs that I see. But if you can add the how and what it is about you personally that means that you get the job done better than anybody else with that job title, then you're going to start to see the energy of your CV popping out a lot more. But also, you are then on your way to finding out what is it that you would like to be doing. What type of job is it that you're going to really want to use your talents for? And if you can go for something that's in that passion zone, then all the better. I'm just going to share that again because I'm not sure if that came up before, because I'm not particularly au fait with this tech yet. So hopefully you can see that. So this is the screen here. It just shows you here that if you are working in your passion zone, the results are going to be better and the time you take is going to be less than somebody else who perhaps is a bit bored of doing those things. If you're going for a job that's got a fairly generic title, let's say you want to be an HR manager, if in your CV you have put down that you are passionate about helping people, that you have a real ability to read people, that you can really understand the whole business as well as people. And this is where your energy comes from. And the reason that you can do it well is because you bring energy and attention to detail and all of those good things. That's going to read better than just putting HR manager at a particular company, looked after, a team of 5 people doing HR stuff. So that's how I would be looking at trying to get to understand what those talents are. Now, so have a look at something like that sort of sheet, work out what you're good at. The other thing you can do is look at what gives you stress. Now, you might be good at something, but if you are stressed by it, then there's not really a lot of point in trying to go for a job that is going to be causing you the stress. So some people say, well, I'm really good at numbers, or I'm really excellent at dealing with things in a crisis, for example. But actually, would I want a job in that world? And the answer might be no. So it might be that on that skills threshold, you've got the skill, but it causes you stress. So you want to try and really, these are things that you need to do to try and get a little bit deeper into what is driving your search. Yesterday we were talking about more altruistic why reasons for why you were looking for certain things. This is now thinking about the talents that you have, the skills that you want to use, and the skills that you don't want to use. The areas where you are not great at it. And if you could make sure that any job description didn't have that in it, it would be great. And if it had all of this stuff in it, it would be brilliant. It means that when you're coming to look for your job search, and when you're starting to put down on LinkedIn, tick different criteria, different boxes, or when you're reviewing job descriptions, that you can then start to say, well, actually, this HR manager's got quite a lot of finance stuff in it, and I've got that in my stress bucket. So I'd like to look for a company where the HR manager role doesn't have to do strategic planning, finance planning as well. So you can start to really hone in. Another thing that I like to look at is what you like doing in sort of times of adversity. So I always think about, when I was running call centers, obviously you're hoping that every day is going to be a good day and that the numbers are all going to look good and the phone's going to get answered. But some of my best days were the days when a crisis happened. The phones all lit up and there would be some drama, or the phones would crash and there would be some IT problem. Now, for some people, that would fill them with absolute horror. They would be panicking. It would make them stressed. For me, and actually for one or two of my managers who worked for me, we used to love that. We used to be like, right, okay, what needs to be done? We loved the buzz of that. We loved taking control of the issue. We loved the fact that we had to potentially escalate things. Back in the day when you didn't have so much remote working, another example would be when there was huge snowfall, and we had to work out how we were going to get people home, but also keep the phones on. And we'd have a logistical challenge. And for me, I could go back to some of those moments, and I could tell you that they were genuinely really exciting moments. So if I was looking for a similar opportunity, I'd be looking for where can I get some challenge, where can I get some excitement from, to not be I wouldn't want just a steady role. And now when I'm coaching, the bits that I do that give me that buzz are coaching with individuals and seeing the light bulbs go on, challenging them in different ways. So it changes as your career moves on. But have a think about, where are those moments for you where you think, God, I absolutely love this. It could be a challenge. It could be a particular moment, could be adversity, but it could be a new project, or it could be the endings of projects. It could be the moment that you sign things off. It could be that sense of putting a first plan together. It could be contacting customers. It could be those challenging customer services meetings or difficult sales things. It could be landing the sale, whatever it is for you. Just give yourself a little moment to think about what those really exciting and passionate moments are for you. And it's just then worth observing those. If you want more of that, then it's something you can note down. But also think about, why was it in those moments that you and your talents meant that that was going to be a success for you? So you enjoyed it and you got things happening in that moment. But what was it about that moment? And for me and my managers, we were very much driving, operational, customer services people who liked motivating and managing teams. So if we were looking at our special talents, and I look at the managers who are working for me, their special talents would have been around having energy, being engaging, making decisions quickly, and being not afraid to escalate. So they were the specific talents that they were using to get that scenario back on track. It is different to then just saying that they were a customer services manager. They had energy, they had vibrancy, they were able to motivate people in different ways. So hopefully you can see the difference of what I'm trying to say there. So hopefully that's been useful. Always useful to explore your talents, not just the where you've been, what you've done, but how you do it, and what is it specific to you that makes you good at what you do. And if you can get some of that into your CV, then fantastic. Now, some of the exercises that I've talked about are mentioned in my book, Get the Job You Really Want in a Post-Pandemic World. Get it on Amazon. If you want the colour copy, then it's available directly through my website, which I'll just pop up on the screen now so that you can see it. Now, I have got more sessions tomorrow, and we're looking at CVs, and we're looking at confidence later on in the week. So I hope that you can join me then, and just drop me a note in the comments if you found it useful. Thanks.